Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Faith Woodard. Rolly Hoyt is taking some time off. It is day 2 of the special session at the Capitol as lawmakers work to cut taxes for Arkansans. THV 11 Sarah Horbakowitz joins us now live from the Capitol. Sarah, where do the possible cuts stand now?
Yeah, Faith, that 0.5% tax cut is moving along right quickly, passing through the House and Senate this morning. This is actually one of the fastest moving sessions I've seen in a while, coming just a few weeks after a tense fiscal session ending. But here's what all that tax cut could mean for your wallet. If you're making $30,000, you'd save about $40. Arkansans making $50,000 would save $200. And anyone who makes more than $90,000 could get even more of a tax break. For anyone making $200,000, they'd save about $1,500. Majority supporters want Arkansans to see this money directly, but others want those funds to instead go to state resources.
We cut the top rate from down to 3.9%, which is huge, puts us in a really good competitive advantage to the states that surround us. When you're running surpluses of $700 million or $1 billion, it's a pretty clear indication that you're over collecting. We've not cut services. Government's been fully funded.
If you gave families the option to choose something like free aftercare services for their children or childcare, as opposed to an extra $75 in their budget, they'd benefit far more from investing in these services.
An increase in property tax credit also passed through the House and Senate today. It's expected to get a final approval tomorrow alongside a game and fish budget. All of that kicks off at 9 a.m. and is what expected to be the final day of this special session. For now, reporting at the Capitol, Sarah Horbakowitz, THV 11 News.
Our Tuesday featured a mixture of sunny clouds, more sun to the west, more clouds and a chance of rain into East Arkansas. And I'm still tracking some light rain out there right now on the radar loop, primarily right over the Mississippi River. But around here in central Arkansas, there are a few downpours out in the landscape. If you're watching us in Van Buren County, Clinton, you could see a quick downpour out there this evening. Most of us will stay dry. Best chance of rain in East Arkansas, and then even going into tonight. Still can't rule out there could be some spotty light rain with a mixture of clouds and some starlight at times. Temperatures out there right now into the mid to upper 80s, but look at that heat index. Feeling like 94 in Little Rock, feels like 100 right now in Arkadelphia. This evening, small chance there could be some rain. Variably cloudy skies tonight. It's going to be a warm and muggy night. Temperatures only dropping down into the upper 60s to lower 70s. And as we close out spring and head into the official start of summer, which happens on Thursday, we have some true summertime heat and humidity to talk about. More on that forecast coming up.
Nathan, thank you. Lawmakers and advocacy groups are sharing their concerns with a troubling trend we continue to see here in central Arkansas. This after 2 deadly incidents in 2 separate cities yesterday. THV 11's Rebecca Brown looks at the work being done to stop the violence.
As we see this trend in domestic violence homicides and domestic violence incidents increasing, we've got to put a stop to that.
Domestic violence is not a trend anyone wants to see go up, but it's a reality we're facing. Just this week, 2 women in 2 separate locations met the same fate. On Monday, Pine Bluff Police Department responded to a shooting outside of Cherry Street Liquor. Witnesses told police that Gregory Christopher Sr. shot his wife, Mary Christopher, in front of their 8-year-old son. Christopher later shot and killed himself. That same day, Hot Springs police reported a shooting on Birchwood Bay Road. There they found Amber Reynolds shot and killed. Police later identified a suspect who was found dead in Jefferson County.
It's a nonpartisan issue in Arkansas that we need to protect all victims of domestic violence. And I think as we're learning more about what domestic violence looks like, we need to make sure that our laws are in line with it.
In 2021, Arkansas legislators passed the Arkansas Phoenix Act. The bipartisan bill addressed the training law enforcement receives for domestic violence incidents and looked at the statute of limitations to report them. State Representative Nicole Clowney says despite the progress, she's still working to make our laws updated to keep up with these situations.
Whether it's breaking a lease in an apartment or escaping somebody who is stalking or harassing them with new technology that didn't exist when the laws were originally written, this is an ever-evolving field, and the best way that we can make changes is if we hear from the people impacted the most.
In 2020, 16 women were fatally shot by an intimate partner in Arkansas, and 80% of female intimate partner homicide victims were killed by gun. It's numbers like those that keep Megan McBroom with Women and Children First fighting.
Love should never hurt, and you should never be in a situation where you feel less than. And again, everyone should always live independently from violence, any type of violence. And it's just really important that people know that they have resources in the state of Arkansas.
In Little Rock, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. McBroom says if you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, you can always reach out to Women and Children First. We've got that contact right now on THV11.com. And now to Russellville, where 2 people have been arrested on felony drug and weapon charges. Arkansas State Police say that a traffic stop and vehicle search on I-40 East near mile marker 79 led to the discovery of 10 pounds of high-grade illegal marijuana and 2 weapons. The driver and passenger, 23-year-old William Morgan of Alton, Illinois, and 25-year-old Jamiz Holman of Waco, Texas, were arrested on felony charges for perpetrating a crime with a machine gun, possession with intent to deliver, possession of drug paraphernalia, and simultaneous possession of drugs and firearms. The 2 remain in custody at the Pope County Jail. Well, a ray of hope for Arkansas families whose loved ones are missing. Today at the annual Missing Persons event in Benton, Attorney General Tim Griffin announced that his office is starting a new cold cases division. He made the announcement in front of a crowd of law enforcement and families of missing people. Griffin says that while the Arkansas State Police started a similar division in 2020, his division will be able to help them out with certain cases.
They often rely on us for certain resources that we have, and also we just have a presence all over the state.
Family members at the event carry lanterns for their missing loved ones and observed a moment of silence in their honor. Coming up at 6, we'll have more details on the cold cases division and how it could benefit these families. Tonight, authorities in Pine Bluff need your help finding the person responsible for a fatal hit and run. Pine Bluff PD says that on June 15th, just after 6 a.m., they responded to a call about a body found in the area of 33rd and Hazel Streets. When they arrived, they found 50-year-old Zedelia Samuels. Now, police believe due to skid marks and property on the street, Samuels was hit sometime during the night. Samuels' death is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information about her death is asked to contact Pine Bluff Police. President Biden is using the 12th anniversary of the DACA program to announce a new program. If you remember, DACA allowed migrants brought to the U.S. as children to stay and work without deportation. The program aims to help the so-called dreamers and thousands more already living in the U.S. to stay. Skylar Henry reports from the White House.
As many as 500,000 immigrants could be on a new pathway to permanent U.S. residency.
I'm announcing a common sense fix to streamline the process for obtaining legal status for immigrants married to American citizens.
To apply for a green card, the migrants must already be married to a U.S. citizen, have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years, and pass a background check.
I refuse to believe that to secure our border, we have to walk away from being in America. For that's generations have been renewed, revitalized, and refreshed by the talent, the skill, the hard work, the courage, and determination of immigrants coming to our country.
This new policy comes after Biden saw major pushback from progressives who disagreed with the crackdown he announced earlier this month to try to limit the number of asylum seekers crossing the southern border.
It is not how I would have approached it, but I do appreciate that right now what the president is doing is he's saying families are important to Americans and that we are going to do everything we can to protect the spouses of American citizens.
I think all these are both him trying to have his cake and eat it too, in the one sense saying he's going to shut the border down, but in the other sense reassuring his progressive left that he's still going to be sensitive to letting people in. He's just got a political problem.
The Trump campaign slammed the policy, saying Biden has created another invitation for illegal immigration through his mass amnesty order. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
A senior U.S. official tells CBS News that illegal crossings on the southern border dropped to roughly 2,000 migrant apprehensions on the border Monday, the lowest daily average since 2020 when the COVID pandemic slowed migration. The Federal Trade Commission is accusing software maker Adobe of deceiving customers in a new lawsuit. The FTC claims the maker of Acrobat, Photoshop, and other popular editing tools pushes customers towards pricey subscription plans while hiding early termination fees. Adobe says it is transparent with the terms and conditions of its subscription plans, adding that the company will dispute the allegations in court. NASA is delaying the return of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. The Starliner docked with the International Space Station on June 6th, bringing NASA astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore to the ISS. The agency is now targeting a June 26th return to Earth at the earliest so that NASA and Boeing can figure out issues with the capsule's thrusters and helium system, both of which are not working as designed. This is the Starliner's first piloted test flight after years of delays and budget overruns.